Times are tough for UK workers. The government's rules are not exactly easy to pin down, but right now some workers are being asked to live on just 67% of their normal wage. The need for a pay increase has never been stronger. Even if you've managed to avoid being in this situation, if you are employed, you will now be competing for pay rises in a much harsher world than before.
All companies are struggling one way or another, and your much needed pay rise is the very last thing on their priorities list. It's no good waiting around patiently for some boss to notice your plight. You need to get that pay rise yourself. Let us show you how from our joint 20 years experience in grabbing pay rises.
And if what you're really after is more money, regardless of where that comes from, well, we have a few ideas for how you can give yourself a little income boost outside of your job too. How do you get paid more? Let's check it out.
Welcome to Unshackled.com, the investment and finance channel and website that sets you and your finances free.
That was Andy and I'm Ben, and if you like what we say, hit the like button and click subscribe. First, a special shout out to Moneyfarm who are sponsoring this video. Moneyfarm is an FCA regulated digital wealth manager with 50,000 active investors and over £1 billion invested on the platform. And performance of their top portfolio has achieved almost 9% annually.
Rated excellent on Trustpilot, with Moneyfarm you can invest through a pension, ISA or a general account. And Moneyfarm will give you the first month free when you sign up via our link. You'll find the offer link in the video description and on the Money Unshackled offers page, linked below. Now let's get into the video.
Why are wages so low anyway? Let's quickly understand the 5 big reasons why you are getting a raw deal from your wage. Number 1, you're trapped. You may not notice the pigeonhole you've been trapped in, but it is there nonetheless. You can only apply for jobs in your specific area of expertise unless you're willing to undergo years of retraining and then probably take a pay cut as you enter your new career at a lower level.
The problem at least is being somewhat recognised by the government in their Doomed to Fail campaign to help people to retrain. Remember Fatima the ballerina? For saying a ballerina could get help to retrain in cyber, they incurred the fury of the permanently furious on Twitter. But hey, at least the campaign got noticed.
Number 2, own or be owned. A company exists to serve its owners, not its staff. Directors will prefer to prioritise raising the pay of the investors who own the company by raising dividends over increasing their staff expense. Unfortunately, choosing to make your money as an employee leaves you open to always coming second to the business owners whenever there is money to be passed around.
Number 3, you're one of many. There are too many people after the same jobs, a consequence of being a wealthy and successful country. Supply and demand means that your boss doesn't feel pressurised to give you a pay rise because someone else will always do it for less.
Number 4, pay rises aren't really rises. Inflation means that a pay rise of just 1% is really a pay cut. These derisory 1% annual increases to your pay leave you poorer and poorer the longer that you stay in a role.
Number 5, knowledge isn't shared. Do you share information about your pay with your colleagues? Of course not, it's a taboo, but they're almost certainly paid differently to what you are, even for a similar role. When only the HR director knows who's paid what, employees allow themselves to be taken advantage of.
How to engineer yourself a pay rise. Hopefully you now know why you're in such a bind. As an employee, you are totally at the mercy of other people to pass judgment on you favourably, whether an interviewer, a line manager or the board of directors.
But there are 5 tried and tested methods that we've used and witnessed that swing the odds back in your favour. Pay rise tip 1, switch jobs often. Most of the pay rises that we took over the years were taken on interview day. It's the only day you will have the power to negotiate as an equal. If they want you, they'll give you a good wage.
You are not yet dependent on them to provide your single income stream, so you can walk away. There are usually multiple possible employers that you can interview with before you find the one that gives you what you need.
Pay rise tip 2, if you must stay. If you can't change jobs or really don't want to, then you must get friendly with the decision makers. The main disadvantage of a job is that all decisions around your future financial health are in the hands of a single randomly selected line manager. Even if you get this person on side, any request to increase pay will often have to be cleared by the chain of command above them.
We're not fans of this approach because it means that you need to be seen to jump through hoops, and you have to spend as much time working on relationships and perception as you do on your job role. Here, we're picturing those that wait until 9 PM to send an email, which was saved as a draft several hours earlier.
Pay rise tip 3, negotiate from a position of strength. You'll know if you've watched this channel before that we're both investors, with secondary income streams coming from the assets that we own. Investing is usually thought of as a multi-decade project with no immediate effect, but it's not true. An investment portfolio of just a few grand may not allow you to retire, but it does have other uses.
One of those uses is in negotiating a pay rise. If you have other income streams or a growing pool of assets that you can sell part of if required, it can give you a strong hand in any pay discussion with your boss.
If you can legitimately tell them that you're not dependent on your salary to survive, then you can lay down a pay rise demand as an ultimatum. Either they grant it or you'll leave. In this scenario, your investments will keep paying the bills for several months until you can find another job. Desperate people get taken advantage of. Those with sizable investment pots, however, can dictate their terms.
Don't worry if you don't know how to invest. Our channel is crammed full of videos on the topic, and if you want to, you can fairly cheaply outsource it to a professional. Robo-advisors, such as Moneyfarm, our video sponsor, can do it all for you.
Pay rise tip 4, free up time to retrade or hustle. Don't be one of those guys who sits at their desk until 7 PM hoping that their boss will notice and give them brownie points. Instead, leave on time and do something productive with your evenings. This could be retraining for a new career, or studying to get a qualification that lets you climb higher on your current career ladder.
Alternatively, you could use that time to establish a non-work related income stream of maybe £100 a month. And then once that's established, go create another one. These are called side hustles, and it's estimated that 1 in 4 people have at least one. They help pay the bills, and they can evolve into fully fledged businesses which can one day replace your job.
Check out this video linked to below for several side hustle ideas you can start making extra cash with. People sat at their desk till 7 PM each night are not helping themselves.
Pay rise tip 5. Jobs that pay commission. Do you find yourself working really hard but not seeing this reflected on your payslip? As in, you're paid the same amount regardless of whether you put in a shift or you barely lift a finger. Well, what might work for you is a job which pays a commission on top of a basic salary.
Jobs like recruitment and sales work to this structure. You get a basic pay, which often isn't great, but get rewarded chunky bonuses for each target that you hit. The risks of these roles are that if you don't hit the targets, the base salary is usually worse than what you'd get from a normal job, and you may be asked to leave for underperforming. But your pay is much more within your control if you're able to put in the effort.
All that takes time. Applying for new roles, building relationships at work, or even growing side hustles takes time, and maybe you just need a bit of extra money right now. There are a few ways you can make some extra money from home, like surveys or getting a lodger, but the one that we found to be most financially lucrative is matched betting.
Despite the name, match betting is not gambling. It's a risk-free technique used to scoop up the cash incentives offered by bookmakers. We tried it ourselves and we each made over £500 extra income from it for just half an hour a day. And you can make a lot more if you devote more time to it. You can read more about it on the match betting area of moneyunshackled.com, linked below.
A word of caution. We're not saying that you should throw caution to the wind when asking for more money from your boss. During these times of uncertainty, maybe it's better to just be grateful that you have an income at all.
But if you think you can do better or want to set yourself up to have that difficult conversation from a position of strength in the future, then hopefully we've given you some ideas for where to start.
Question of the day. Do you have any tips that might help others to negotiate a pay rise? Let us know in the comments below.
Thanks for watching. On this channel we talk a lot about personal finance, investing and all things money. And if you want to see more great content, please click the subscribe button below.
This is moneyunshackled.com. See you next time.